Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. So in previous video, we pretty much have made a for loop using LLVM IR. So far in this series, we only used the core LLVM library. We used the IR module here, right here to actually construct LLVM IR, right? But so far, we only printed the IR. We haven't ran it or anything, right? We didn't even use the support function that we have done here, that we have added here. So right now, we also need to link another component called OrcJIT, and we also need to link our native libraries for our target hardware, which in my case, my native hardware is like x86. This is my CPU architecture. Right, it could be different for you, and since that's the case, and also the native libraries are a lot and you can't really remember their names and so on, so that sucks. So we do need some function right here, some helper to actually helps us find the names that we need for our components. So luckily LLVM actually gives us that. So as long as you have used the find package here correctly and so on, you could actually say LLVM map components to libnames, and you could define any kind of like variable here. Let's call it LLVM libs, and here you could list the components you need from LLVM. In our case, we need core, we need support, we need support, right? And then we need OrcJIT, which is one library. It's just like the generic thing. And then we need the native libraries, right? So now instead of linking LLVM core, LLVM support manually, we're actually gonna link all this variable right here. And in fact, let me show you if we say message LLVM libnames, but of course we need the actual variable. Let's grab the variable here, and let's actually use it here too. Wait. Let's actually reload our CMake right now and see how that goes. Let's see. So if we reload this, notice right now it actually printed all the libraries we need. So this is the libraries that we have been linking ourselves. And this is the OrcJIT library. And then we got the native libraries for x86, as you can see. Since CMake is running right now on x86, so we actually have selected the right libraries for us. So that's pretty cool. So we don't need to actually message that stuff and so on. No need. Now let's actually get into the actual code. So right now, just to show you that this code runs exactly as before, but right now we're just kind of using this helper function, and we're also adding the OrcJIT and native modules of LLVM. So we're linking to those libraries. Perfect. Now let's see what we could do next. So let's include some stuff. So first of all, we need LLVM / execution engine / the thing is, there's two GITs. There's MCGIT, which is the older, eager GIT of LLVM. And there's the new one, which is the OrcJIT. Today, we're going to be using OrcJIT. We're not going to be using MCGIT, and you shouldn't unless if you're doing some legacy code and so on. But yeah, all right, so we're going to go with orc, and we're going to go with our LLGIT. So this is the actual GIT engine. Next up, we're also going to need a thread safe module. So it's also going to be inside of orc, I believe. There you go. And we're going to need one support function, or like some functions from support actually, which is going to be target select. So we're going to use it for selecting a target. In our case, it's going to be our native target. So here, or actually, let me show you later on with an error so you could see why we would need that, whichever that is. You're going to see in a second. We could make this constant, by the way, apparently. Anyways. All right, so let's see how we're going to do this. First of all, let's actually create an LLVM GIT engine. So how we could do that? Well, after the verify function, we're not going to be printing the IR anymore. I mean, you could do it fine. But after that, what we're going to do here is create the LLVM GIT. All right, so how are we going to do this? Well, auto GIT or error is equal to what? Is equal to LLGI. Well, actually, I need a namespace before that. So we also got the orc namespace. And now what we could do is LLGIT builder, right? And we call that to get a builder. Now to builder, basically you could use it to, like, let's say set some, like, you know, configure your GIT before you create it, right? For example, you could set the compile threads here, notice, could say and stuff, so on. But in our case, we're not going to do that. So we're just going to directly create with the default arguments, with the default configuration. And there you go. But this create function gives us back not a LLGIT, but a expected unique PTR, right? So how we could unwrap this expected? It's actually pretty simple. So let's see how we could do it. Well, if not GIT or error. So if we got an error, what we're going to do is we're going to print, let's say, or actually let's print two errors. And we're going to print what? We're going to print GIT or error dot take error. And there you go. And who knows, maybe we also need a new line here and so on. We'll see. All right, so, and we're going to return exit failure. Let's actually try this. In fact, it should error right now because we're missing something. So let's see. It's going to take a little while to compile. And there you go, enable to find target for this triple. No targets are registered, as you can see, so that's great. Now, it seems like we don't need a new line apparently, but yeah. Now, instead of doing this every time, because like there's a lot of APIs here in LLVM that actually returns unexpected, and every time checking for errors and exiting and so on really sucks. But luckily for us, we actually have, and by the way, to actually get back your GIT to extract it, you could do this. I forgot to tell you. So you could basically say std move dereference the GIT or error, right? So essentially here the dereference unwraps the expected and it crashes if it's an error. But in this case, since we already checked if it is an error, that's impossible. It wouldn't crash. And next up, we actually move from that unique PTR. We move that unique pointer from here, like the LLGIT. We move it from this, the unique PTR that is currently in this variable. We move it to this one. So that's why we've done this, right? And that's basically how you do it. Now, instead of all this business, instead what you could just do directly is use a helper function from LLVM called can't fail, or fail exit, which is more complex. It's actually, I believe, exit fail, or yeah, exit on error. But this one's a helper for check and exit error handling, which is more sophisticated. Like you could do all sorts of stuff with login and so on, but it's basically an object that you configure and so on, but we don't need that craziness. We could just use can't fail, and as you can see, it would be the exact same thing as we were doing before. Let me actually show you how it looks like with the error that we have currently. And there you go. So this is what we got pretty much. We got a debug error, and we could abort this. And failure value returned from can't fail wrapped call, unable to find target for this triple. So exactly the same error that we got before. So that's cool. So let's actually fix this error right now. So here we're going to say initialize native target, first of all. And second of all, we're going to also initialize native target. We're going to initialize native target. Let's see what we got here. So you got as in printer, assembly parser, and disassembler. So in our case, we just want to emit assembly code. So we're going to need assembly printer. We don't need assembly parser. You would need this if you're going to be reading some LLVM IR, let's say from a string, or let's say from a file or whatever. You're going to need the parser. If you're going to disassemble some assembly into LLVM IR, then you're going to need a disassembler. Now, in our case, we only need the ASM printer or assembly printer. I mean, it doesn't hurt if you initialize all of them, but this is the only ones we need for now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, if we actually run this, the GIT would be created without any problem. And there you go. So as you can see, no errors. So now let's actually compile some code. How are we going to do this? Well, first of all, we need to create a thread safe module, because the thing is about LLGIT here, or OrcJIT, is that it's multi-thread, right? So it can compile multiple functions and so on at the same time. And so we need a thread safe module, and you know, a thread safe context and so on. So how we could do that? Well, through creating a module. So TSM, so thread safe module. So what we're gonna say here is, or like we could just say thread safe module. There you go, TSM. And here we're gonna need two things. Apparently, we need the unique PTR module and unique PTR LLVM context, right? And it owns them. So we could give it the module and the context. But the problem with the context right now that we have is that it is not a unique PTR. It's just on the stack. So let's actually fix that. There you go. Now the problem right now, we need to dereference all of these with the dereference operator, so we can get the actual like raw pointer, or actually the reference really. So how we can do that? Well, we could just, you know, Control F, and of course make sure that you have these on. And now we're gonna exclude the first one, which is a variable name, and we're gonna replace all the other ones. There you go. And that's basically how it goes. So now we could actually do this, and in fact, let's remove it from this one too. But we have a little problem because here it's trying to copy the unique pointer, which is not possible. You can only copy a shared pointer. So we actually need to move this guy, to move it to the TSM. So how are we gonna do it? Well, std move module. And of course, since we moved it, the original ones shouldn't be used anymore at this point. But yeah, std move module. And oh, since this is a constant, it can't be moved, so let's not make it a constant. And there you go. So now we got our TSM. Now we could actually add it to our GIT. We can register it to our GIT. So add IR module. And here we could give it a thread safe module, as you can see, TSM. But we need to move it since it owns it. Or instead of moving this, we could just like construct it directly. So we don't have to move anything really. So we could just remove this and put it here instead, remove the name, and we're good. Now this returns an error if there is a problem. So we could again use can't fail. There you go. Next up, what we're gonna need. Now, you may have the intuition that add IR module would actually go ahead and compile this code right now in this step. But no, here you're just registering it, because the thing is, MCGIT, the legacy GIT of LLVM, it was eager, which means it compiles the code, the whole code directly, but not the case with OrcJIT. OrcJIT is lazy. It only compiles things that you need, that you actually request. So that's cool. So how we could actually request compiling the sum function that we have made here. How we could do that? Well, I could say sum is equal to what? It's equal to GIT lookup. So we look up the function and we give it the name, the enmangled name. In our case, it's just sum, pretty much. And yeah, so this could fail, right? So let's actually say can't fail. So we could unwrap the error. And then we could say to pointer, right? Because this one just returns what? It returns an executor address apparently or something like that. But here we could actually turn it in an actual pointer, which is basically a function pointer. And here we give it the type of the function. Now we know what's the type of the function. It takes an integer and returns an integer. So let's actually define that. So integer, and this is a function pointer, and it takes an integer, and that's pretty much it. There you go. So now we actually got our function here. So in this case here, since this is the first lookup of sum, it would actually get compiled pretty much. So now let's actually use our sum function. Now we're going to do that. Well, stdc out. Let's actually add, wait, let's add this guy, can we? Yeah, add iostream. And let's sum 10, for example. Right, and let's just run this. And let's see what's gonna happen here. Okay, moment of truth. We haven't missed anything. And boom, we got 55, which is correct with the function we have created here, as you can see. So like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 up to 10 would give you 55. So right now, we actually like compiled this LLVM into actual assembly code of my own CPU architecture in memory, and then we ran it. So this calling this function is like literally like calling any other compiled function in your program. And another cool thing is that you could actually call printf inside of the LLVM. You could call any other function that is inside the process right now. So let's say I even link, let's say, SDL or raylib or whatever into my current program right now. The LLVM itself can also access that too. So that's insane. All right. So that was it, guys, for this video. Hopefully you have enjoyed that. Like I enjoyed it pretty much. It's like mind blowing, you know. So we literally have made a C++ function from scratch inside the code that is running at runtime, compiled and ran it. It's like, bro, what? And by the way, this is my 200th video, so please, you can support me with a, subscribe, like, comment, and if you'd like, even a super thanks or so on. So thank you all guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.